How do you kill a bad trip? Now, whether you've taken mushrooms, acid, DMT, ecstasy, peyote, or any other psychedelic drugs, and you're having a bad time, after you've tried everything and you want it to stop, you should always make sure you have a trip killer on hand before you even start taking the drug. As you can see, a trip killer is a hallucinogen antidote. It pretty much aborts and stops the bad effects. Examples of trip killers can be things such as antipsychotics or benzodiazepines, drugs like Seroquel, diazepam, alprazolam, lorazepam, or even olanzapine. As you can see above, here are some dosages for the trip killers. Depending on the adverse effects and the tolerance to the drug will be how much you need to stop the trip. I mainly prefer benzodiazepines due to the physical and cognitive effects. It really just relaxes you, gets rid of your anxiety, and it can really help in the time of need. Now, my favourite was usually diazepam or alprazolam, as they're pretty fast acting and they help your anxiety really quickly. But I'm sure if you were to take an antipsychotic, it would work just as well. So what can happen on a bad trip? Things like hallucinations, irrational behaviour, aggression and violence, loss of bodily control, and mental health problems can even come up. There can also be things such as hypothermia, dry mouth, vomiting, nausea, anxiety, psychosis, tachycardia, hypertension, and that just isn't a fun time. So before you take any drugs, consult a doctor, and if you are going to do so safely, and it's also best to have a trip sitter who's sober. And also make sure they know how to handle the situation as best as possible. Remember to get your trip killer before you go on a trip, and it's best to avoid psychedelics if you have mental health problems, or a family history of mental health problems. Now you know how to calm a bad trip down, and if worse comes to worse, dial emergency services so you can get a healthcare professional. If you need more information, check out Psychonaut Wiki or Errorwood.